I'm wearing a beanie to cover up the fact that I need to wash my hair. Hi. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a monthly favorites, and I know that this is coming out pretty late into February, but I'm going to do my January favorites. I'm going to try to keep the intro short. I'm going to try to keep this video as short as possible, but that's probably not going to happen, but let's see what happens. Sorry, all my makeup's on, most of my makeup's on this side of my vanity, so I'm going to be looking over here a lot. Also, don't mind the outfit. I just got back from school and it's cold as hell and rainy as hell outside, which is a first for Southern California. It doesn't ever rain, so we don't really know how to handle it. First product, okay, so if you don't know this about me, I am 100% cruelty-free when it comes to makeup. I refuse to buy any makeup products from any brand that's not 100% cruelty-free, which also means not selling in China. I don't want to purchase from a brand that sells in China. I just don't agree with it, and I can do a whole video on that if you guys want, but just so you know, all these products are going to be cruelty-free. For those of you guys who don't know what that means, basically that just means they don't test products on animals, but I'll get in, if you guys want me to go in depth on that I can, but I won't for the beginning of this video. So I'll sort of go in order, I guess, of the face. That's probably the best way to do this. Favorite primer of the month, definitely Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I believe this is an opal. I can't find a shade on here, but I think it's either their only shade or it's the shade opal. I do have more oily skin, like in my nose and my T-zone, but the rest of my skin is pretty dry, and I really, really want to have luminous skin. I don't want to have super matte skin just because I'm oily. So I use this. This does not make me oily. It does not break up my makeup. It does not make my makeup slip at all. One thing I will say is that I don't necessarily find that it fills in pores, as bad as that sounds. It definitely, I don't find that it accentuates them in any way, but if you're looking for a pore filler, I would put, like, one thing that I've done, because I do have, not that I necessarily even have big pores on my nose, but I do have more oily skin, so I'll put pore fillers on my nose. I can put this over the top of it and it looks fantastic. I don't have any issue. So if there's a primer that you love that's pore filling, I would put that underneath this. But as far as dewy skin is concerned, this definitely does everything that it claims to do. So next would be foundation. I really am not a person that wears foundation all the time, but I have a few favorites. One would be the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous. CoverGirl is one of those brands that just went cruelty free like a few months ago, so I haven't really been purchasing. I haven't been purchasing from them for like 4 or 5 years by now, but this, oh my gosh, in middle school this was my favorite foundation. I remember absolutely loving this, and it doesn't say a whole lot because I went through like that cringy middle school makeup phase, but I do remember this though always being a favorite of mine, that I don't look back on my middle school and regret ever wearing this. So I was super excited when they went cruelty free for the sole purpose of trying this foundation, and I love it. The whole purpose of the 3-in-1 is that there's it's obviously foundation, there's SPF 20 in it. It says long-lasting primer, coverage of a concealer, and blendability of a foundation all in one, and it's shine-free. So this lasts for a long time on my skin. The coverage is really, really, really good. I was like honestly surprised at how full coverage this was. But you can do, like, it's so thin, which is what I love about it. It's not, that's the reason I don't wear foundation all the time, is because I find that it just feels super heavy and feels super thick. This does not feel heavy on your skin. Obviously, if you apply a whole bunch of it to your face and get the most ridiculous full coverage, okay, it's gonna feel a little bit heavy. But as far as like just putting like a nice thin layer, getting a nice medium coverage, it feels fantastic on the skin. It does set itself pretty well. I'll throw like a powder over the top of it just to be safe, just because I have oilier skin. But if you don't have oily skin, you probably won't even need to set this. I do find that I don't have to use concealer under this, just because I have really fair skin. So for me, it takes a lot to get a lot of coverage, because if my face gets red, it's a lot more of a contrast in skin tone, if that makes sense. Also, I have this in shade Creamy Natural. Harper, she's fine. Okay, and I do apply it with a beauty blender. And this, oh my gosh, this foundation with this concealer is an absolute, like, godsend, because this is full coverage enough to where it covers all your skin. but somehow this foundation, like the primer still like shows through and it's still more luminous. Like you can definitely see the luminosity compared to if you didn't do this with the primer. Concealers, I have two I'm gonna show you guys. I guess three. I've been getting back, my Tarte Shape Tape looks disgusting, so ignore the fact that it looks disgusting. This is obviously a favorite, everybody's favorite. I don't really need to explain anything on that. Makeup Revolution. This has been so talked about. So many people love it and so many people hate it. And I know Jaclyn Hill just did a video and she could not stand this, which that's fine. It's not going to work on everybody, obviously. No product's going to work on everyone. This concealer, I love it. I don't have any issues with it. It might just be my skin, because I know Jaclyn Hill always talks about being more dry and I'm a little bit more oily. So I think that this works better on that kind of skin. This reminds me a lot of the Tarte Shape Tape. Obviously the Tarte Shape Tape is a little bit thicker and more full coverage, but this is definitely the dupe that I could find at the drugstore. This is the closest thing I could find, and I think it's pretty close. This, I will say, the only difference is that the Tarte Shape Tape is a lot more thick, I guess. Like, I won't use a Tarte Shape Tape under my eyes. This I'm comfortable using on breakouts and under my skin. I have gone through so many of these. I have Too Sharp Tape, or I can't say that. Tarte Shape Tape, except this is way too fair for me right now. But eventually I'll be that color maybe. By the way, Tarte Shape Tape, I'm the shade Light, and Real Techniques, or not Real Techniques, the Makeup Revolution. I always bounce back and forth between colors because my Ulta never has like, they never have a huge selection, so literally anything from shade like 3 to 7, I'll figure out a way to make it work. I've gone through, no joke, 5 or 6 of these, which is saying a lot because I never go through an entire concealer. I have such a hard time going through entire concealers. And last concealer I'm going to mention is the Smashbox Studio Skin 24-Hour Waterproof Concealer. This is another brand that just recently went cruelty-free. I think they were cruelty-free in the States, but if they sell in China it's required by law. So in order for a brand to be like 100% cruelty-free, they can't sell their products in China either. So I think Smashbox just recently made that transition. This is in the shade Light. This is what I use under my eyes because it's a lot thinner than the other one. So this still gives you good coverage, but it's so thin. Like if I'm wearing absolutely no makeup on my face, I'm gonna throw on a concealer and like, I have to do my eyebrows. I'm not that person that can say I throw gel in my eyebrows. I do the same eyebrows whether I'm wearing a full face of makeup or wearing no makeup. I need the help with the eyebrows. But if I'm just doing like eyebrows, like a teensy bit of mascara and like a concealer, this is what I'll use. This is by far the most natural looking in terms of finish. The Revlon, the Makeup Revolution's a little bit more matte. Tarte Shape Tape, to me, I consider it very matte. This is a lot more of a natural finish. It's not dewy. I do set this. I do, under my eyes at least, I'll set it. The rest of my face, I don't really have an issue with makeup lasting anyway. So as far as face powders are concerned, I really don't use that much because like I said, I tend to not wear a whole lot of face makeup anyway, and I'm always trying to be the dewiest that I can. So I'll set underneath my eyes, but as far as like foundation powders, I tend to steer clear of. Flower Light Illusion, I am obsessed with this. It leaves your... For me, it's not that this makes a matte foundation luminous, but for me, whatever finish your foundation is the finish that it will be after you put this powder on, if that makes sense. So if you have a matte foundation, this will keep your foundation matte. If you have a dewy foundation, this won't mattify it too much. Obviously, if you put a foundation, or if you put a powder over a foundation, it's gonna be Harper. But yeah, I've been really liking this recently. I don't use too much of it. I don't use it under my eyes. I have this in the shade Beige. It's pretty easy to remember. And then as far as under my eyes, it's more of a makeup palette. But this is also just a palette I've been using a lot anyway. This is the Morphe 8L. This is a contouring palette. I tend to not get contouring palettes because I can't buy the colors individually. However, Morphe is cheap enough to where I wasn't too concerned about it, and you can probably buy these individually. To be honest, I haven't looked, but odds are you can buy them individually. I like this palette, especially for like my skin tone. The more nude powder in this It has such a pretty finish. All of these are creamy, but none of them are so creamy to where you put it on your face and there's just like a blob of color. Like, I don't know, I don't like contour colors that are so pigmented that it's impossible to blend or you blend it away. I don't have that issue with this palette. This color Stardust, I'm gonna swatch this because I want you to see. This, like, it almost has like a purple iridescence to it. Anyway, I've been obsessed with this, and honestly that face powder is the powder that I've been using under my eyes and on my nose. I do find that it keeps me matte, and when I say this looks poreless, I mean it looks poreless. I'm so late to this bandwagon. I'm talking, I'm like 8 or 10 years behind on Milani Luminoso. This is my favorite blush of all time. It's that perfect, like, it's the perfect luminosity to when you smile, like your cheeks have that like little sheen to them, which is what I like crave 100% of the time. As far as natural highlights, because I use 2 different kinds of highlights, I'll explain. This packaging is busted as hell. I'm sorry, I've had this for a while. This is the Makeup Revolution Star Strobe Highlighter Moon Glow Lights. I think Moon Glow Lights is the color. This looks busted. I can show you what it looks like because the cap fell off of it, which I'm not too thrilled about, so now I just kind of like set it on top and then just put it in my thing and pretend it didn't happen. But this gives the perfect like natural sheen. This is always what I have on my cheeks, but this highlight I'll just use with like a Morphe M500 just because it's big. So what I'll do is I'll just grab like a little bit of product and smile and just like lightly dust it on my cheeks. I am more on the, like I have been saying for this entire video, because I'm more on the oily side, I'm pretty careful about where I put highlight. This highlight is subtle enough to where I can put it on my cheeks, my forehead, my nose, my chin, and it does not make me look oily. And at the end of the day, it still doesn't look oily. It still looks like that healthy glow that everybody always talks about. As far as actual highlight, that really depends on the day for me. And one classic that I feel like from the drug, actually I think most of these, I'm showing you guys mainly drugstore products, don't mind me. The Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder. Everybody knows this is like the best highlighter ever. This is in Blossom Glow. I love this for when I want a hella intense highlight. But if you want to be natural, I would just use the other highlight. But this is like full strobe highlight. So as far as eyeshadows, I'm, like I keep saying, day to day I go more natural. However, usually when I come home from school, I'll do my makeup like full out, smoky, colorful, and then I'll wash my face and then like go to dance or something. But when I come home, I always do my makeup like kind of all out, which is why even though like I'm not wearing a whole bunch of makeup right now, I can definitely speak for these products because I do wear them a lot. I'm gonna show you guys the most basic eyeshadow palette. Most people that I know have this. Morphe 350. I mean, everybody already knows that this is a great palette. Don't mind the one that has a, I'm pretty sure a brush fell in it or something, and that was like 2 days after I got it, and I was so sad. This I love because there's enough, it's really warm, and I'm a person where, as weird as this sounds, warm eyeshadows are not necessarily my favorite, or I don't prefer them over cooler tones. But like there's shades in here that are like nice and neutral, or they're not too warm, not too cool. Obviously you have like your super warm eyeshadows over here that are like super warm, but all of these over here are a lot more neutral. And those are the ones I tend to gravitate towards. Mascara obsessions that I have would definitely be my eyelash extensions. I don't wear mascara on my upper lashes anymore because I just got eyelash extensions a few months ago. So I can only do mascara on my lower lashes, and what I've been obsessed with for that, and I was obsessed with this also for my top lashes before I got extensions, the Essence Lash Extension Mascara, the Volume Stylist. But yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I use this for my lower lashes still. It adds good volume, it separates them, it lasts forever. It does not bleed. That is my #1 thing. I absolutely hate mascaras that bleed. If it bleeds once, I throw it away. I will never even try it again. I cannot stand when mascaras bleed. And that's my like problem. That's like one of my issues is mascaras that bleed really bad. This doesn't. In fact, none of the Essence mascaras do. And I bought one that was waterproof on accident, but holy crap, that thing's so waterproof, it's like really difficult to take off. But if you're looking for good waterproof mascaras, I would definitely go with Essence. They're definitely a good place to go. those are my monthly favorites. I'm sorry, I know I talk fast. I'm trying to go through all these products fast. But thank you guys so much for watching my video. Like and subscribe, and please leave comments of videos that you guys want to watch, because I want to make videos that you guys are obviously going to like. So I'm signing off, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.